We are the focal line. Can you hear me? Turn it up. Can you hear the sound? We are the focal line. Yeah, we do it for the love and we spread it around.
Rest in peace to Clive Davis. Clive Davis passed away. We want to, show some respects, but also talk very briefly about that. Um, and then also, have a quick little conversation about something we saw online. People comparing Clive Davis to one particular uh, other mogul. So we'll save that for a second. What do y'all think? Immediate thoughts, feelings, opinions about Clive Davis. He died at 95 years old. I don't know if they called out the reason why he died. It just says like complications to age. But anyway, but what do you guys think? Any
Uh,
immediate thoughts?
God bless him and his family. But when you talk about it, 95 years of age to be on this earth is a long time to see a lot of things to endure as well as share. Would have definitely wanted to sit down in the room with him and literally like pick his brain on certain things that he felt or what artists he met at the time. That would have been fire. But with Clive, man, Clive was definitely a different kind of person. He was more so acceptable to our kind of culture when it comes to our skin tone. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? He accepted us the way it was, and he liked our sound. So him cultivating that and bring that to the mainstream, I thought was fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
definitely
think
share those sentiments. Yeah.
yeah, definitely rest up to him and prayers to his family. He for me he was that guy that we were all trying to get to as artists back in the day. When I
Facts.
was with my group, me and Dewan, like that was one of those names that if you heard that you had a meeting with them, this was the opportunity to make it. He
Right.
launched Whitney Houston, Alicia Keys, Aerosmith, the names and the
Mariah Carey.
the magnitude of Mariah Carey artists that he helped, like just shoot out the stratosphere. You knew that if you got in front of Clive, you could have a chance to, be a big artist. And he was one of the guys that gave you the opportunity. So, he's definitely contributed to the field that I love, R&B, and the hits that I've, listened to over the years. So big shout out to him, and may he rest up.
Yeah, man. I feel the same exact way. When I think about him, I think about Whitney immediately. Him, being the one who discovered and unlocked the Whitney was and supported Whitney was crazy. And I remember a podcast where L.A. Reid was talking about meeting Clive Davis and working with Clive Davis, and that he needed to he thought that he could just talk to Clive Davis and say, "Hey, Clive Davis, I need you to help me out. I need you to unlock this. Press that button that you do so it could set, my artist to go off." And he says, "You think there's a button that I press?" And he said Clive Davis brought him to a show and Whitney was singing, and he told him, "That's the button right there." Talking about her voice. That there's no button that you press. You just gotta have it. You gotta have that. And Whitney was a one of a kind thing. So when I think about that, like him having that ability to catch so many stars, but not only R&B, like pop and rock. Like he just had a gift of just knowing who was gonna be it. His vision. He was visionary beyond words. What do you think, Kev? Any thoughts about Clive Davis?
I mean, it definitely shook the music world. Once you hear his name, Clive Davis. I mean, I think he's a core memory in everybody's brains. Like Flip said, when we was doing music and being in groups, he was like the hope, like the mecca. Like you get to Clive, it's like I made it. If
Mhm.
I don't gotta do nothing else. I remember when J Records first hit the scene, his label was like everybody wanted to be on J Records. You
Everybody.
know, everybody wanted to be on J Records. So for Clive Davis, that's like how I remember him. Like, yo, J Records, Clive Davis, you got to be on the radio. And I was like, it was the it. So to be 95 and to know that at that time, we talk about what, 26 years ago, but he had to be like 70 to have that much impact on the next
Mhm.
generation at 70 years old is deep. It lets you know how much of an impact he had on music with Whitney, with Alicia Keys, and on. So what I'm saying, bless that man. 95 is a I wish to live to be 95. And his legacy will live forever. I mean, minus whatever, ill will you probably have for him personally about the industry, you know what I'm saying? What he did for the music and the music game, you know what I'm saying, is unmatched.
Yeah. I mean, Flip, you were talking about this offline. Like, there's positive and negatives to like certain things, and you always got good memories and bad memories. I don't know any personal stories about him from a business side, but I can imagine that like some artists who complain about their deals not being that great. Like I don't know if Clive Davis will have any connection to those. Um, do you guys have any experience or remember any stories about
Well,
not maybe like a Clive Davis, but maybe somebody else of like
I mean,
that A&R is the reason why my deal was terrible. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
historically, you don't even have to pull from our examples. Historically, bad contracts have been normalized as the standard. They tell you that
Mhm.
you got to give up a rib, a kidney, half
Hmm.
half your
Half
leg,
your liver, yeah.
half your liver, just to sign this deal where they give you a portion of money, and based off of the success you have, you got to pay it all back, and the deal is not even. Historically, you can pull from everybody's history, not even just ours, the contracts we've signed. Um,
Hmm.
that was just the norm. And a lot of artists don't have, good relationships,
Hmm.
with the bosses, because you'll have, like, I remember Mary J was on R&B
R&B
Money
money,
talking
yeah.
about she had one of the biggest albums out with the biggest singles, and she was still living in the projects.
Hmm.
That just
Hmm.
gives you an idea of the success doesn't translate, the album success, single success doesn't translate into
To
money
the
into artist
business.
pockets,
Hmm.
and that comes from contracts. Like,
Yeah,
literally, if they could show you how much money the labels were recouping, making back, and then the interest, and then all the money that they were making, you'd be like, yo, they could easily give to the artist a little bit more, but that's not what they wanted us to conform to. They wanted the norm to be, no, you got to give this much up to be, to sign this deal
hmm,
for me to put you out. And that's one of
yeah.
the side of music that I don't like, that artists never got their fair share, and some only had one successful album. Imagine that artist. I had a multi-platinum
Hmm.
selling album, but I only had one. And all those
Hmm.
millions that we made, and I'm poor. I hate
Hmm.
that, for artists.
Yeah,
You
those
know,
those contracts, those contracts could be everything. And just to piggyback off what he's saying too, you got to think about it, man. They developed those 360 deals. You know what I mean? Because they seen it wasn't, and they knew it wasn't just the artist itself. It was also what they could connect to when it comes to modeling, when it comes to branding,
brand.
when it co-
Yep.
when it comes to all that kind of stuff. So they wanted to be like, hey, I made you. This is what it is. So I need a piece of all of that. So yeah,
Hmm.
those contracts, I mean, with everybody in terms of, being bad. Nobody was literally perfect, but sometimes as artists, I'm gonna be honest too, even coming in, you didn't really care. Man, we about to be signed to this dude. Like his name alone, me under him. If I gotta lose a meal or two, I might let me do that. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Because I know I
Because
can.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
at certain points, you can't even look at the Clives, the Diddies, and all that stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, you have people that was at your side or people that you went in with that have told you to sign it as well. Because they even though they wasn't the artist, they still had the opportunity to be that management, to be that backup, to still get in the door themselves. So yeah, guys,
Yeah.
sign a contract.
Yeah.
Even if they
Yeah.
was slime balling and getting a little thing off the side just to get themselves in the door. But it happens all the time, and most of the time, some artists don't know what they get into, and a lot do. Because after a while, it's like, yo, man, I've been doing this so long, and
Hmm.
I've been trying so hard, and I really, really want this. I need to go in the door. Off a New Edition. New Edition is one of the top groups ever. You know what I'm saying? And off that first single and everything that they was doing, who really reaped the benefits? And we can go back from every artist like that. Every artist's first hit or first song they wasn't fortunate to actually reap the benefits of those residuals and the things that they did in the beginning of their first single.
Thanks so much for that, Dewan. I think like we could round off this part of the conversation here, but it's a big hats off to Clive Davis and what he was able to contribute to the entire industry. Like the soundtrack of my life, my life was impacted by folks like Clive Davis. Um, like the music that has entered into our lives that we consider timeless. He had a big hand in those things. And we hope that everyone that was part of that, their contracts ended up being okay. They were able to get out of them, or renegotiate or whatever. But his impact in that area was hugely felt, and he's going to be missed. And we hope that we can get more like him. But I don't know if A&Rs are going to be a thing anymore, the way it used to be.
Yeah,
Kev,
but
you had some thought? Yeah.
yeah, but Warren said something that's real deep, and like I'm glad he said it because I felt like that for a long time too. If you really sit down with any of these artists, that the Mary J. Blige, the New Editions, 112, anybody, and say, yo, and they will be honest with you. Would you do it again? They'll say, yeah.
For
They'll say,
sure.
yeah.
Hands down,
They'll
Kev.
say, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Give them the same contract. They going to sign it 10 times over. You know,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's a
like,
great
like,
fucking point, Kev. That's a
you know what
great
I'm
I
fucking
saying?
point.
appreciate you saying that.
100%.
Because
Yes,
because
sir.
I would sign it. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how much we love music, and our biggest regret is not, oh, we didn't get paid. Is, yo, no one ever heard my music. No one ever seen my true talent.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
no one cares about the songs. You know what I mean? I mean, no one cares about the money. Like, I remember one, and this always resonate with me. If you ever find it, find the clip, play it. It's a conversation with Steve Stoute and 2 Chainz, right? Everybody know who Steve Stoute is. Universal Masters, big, big,
Yeah.
big, big win the music game. And he was going off on artists like, yo, y'all stupid. Why y'all do this? Why y'all do that? Y'all send a label, da 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 da. And 2 Chainz came out, yo, bro, that's part of the dream. Like, it's being signed to say, yo, I'm Sony, I'm Universal, I'm Motown, I'm J Records,
I'm Def Jam.
Def
Yeah.
Jam, bro. It's like being a ball player. Yo, I played for Chicago Bulls. I don't care my contract because I was in the league. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
yeah.
was
All
a
they want to do is get a record deal. And it's the beginning and the end of their career.
But that's the dream, though, Stout. You know that, like, I mean, been in the game so long, the dream is to get signed.
But if the dream is to really make money,
That's not the route.
that's not the route. In the music business, it's devastating what they do. These guys are in no man's land at the age of 18. They get signed, somebody gives them some money, and they own their name for 20 years or longer. So when you see Prince, when he wrote Slave on the side of his face, he wasn't crazy. He was just way ahead of his time. He knew what was going. Chance the Rapper is nothing but a manifestation of what Prince was talking about in 1996.
You know what I'm saying? I was a Nick. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I played
that's a
at the
really good
Rockets.
point, bro.
Did you do it?
Did you do it? Was
Exactly.
you in the league?
Exactly.
Did you
Yeah.
have a jersey? I don't care if I
Yeah.
got $5. I was on a team, bro.
Yo,
It kind of made you feel like, yo, it proved your worth. It validated that you were
I
good
was on the
enough.
bench. I got a ring. I still got a ring. I was
Exactly.
on the bench. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't think so. For that, and I'm speaking to the people who are not artists, people who don't understand what it is to be an artist, understand to chase that dream, to chase that the dream of being signed. Like, it was part of
Mhm.
the story.
One of the biggest
Everybody
highs.
wanted that story. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what no one says. You got people right now still walking around the hood talking about, I was with Uptown Records.
Mhm.
I was with them. I was in the meetings. That's part of the journey. So, like, I think that people need to stop bring on the bad deals so much and look at the story as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's all part of the story. Anybody's legacy can't be disconnected from the come up, and the come up it's all learning.
Everything.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
everything.
It's disingenuous because it's like I said, I get passionate about it because it's like, yo, like anytime I hear people we know we all close to Imagine, all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I talk to Jamal and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, I could type your group name right now in the search and y'all music pop up. There's
Mhm.
people still talking about, yo, we miss y'all. Y'all was it. Y'all was underrated. All that. You type footsteps, ain't nothing coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that right there is like, that's you had a moment, bro. Like, you know what
You
I'm
was
saying?
there.
Like, you was there, bro. Like, whatever you did with it, how it ended, doesn't matter. You had a moment, bro. You had a
Yeah.
moment to showcase who you were. You know what I'm saying? And I think and that's how people don't really got the love for the game. You know what I'm saying? It's the love for the game. Like, I want to be in a room, be like, I want to test myself against the best. It's not about, yo, how much money you made. And my other point I want to say, I want to bring it to the VLR is do you think it will work if artists were more signed like how we do like sports athletes? So rather than getting paid like album, it's like, yo, listen, this is the team. You know what I'm saying? You got your star players like the Alicia Keys, but then you got the role players like Olivia, who probably don't have a big contract, but you can work to a max contract and you get paid and you get an advisor and you get on tours and you do stuff like that. You know, maybe we team up with J Records and Universal and we'll put them together and say, yo, listen, we're gonna put our two artists together, we're gonna do this big tour, we're gonna put these headliners, we're gonna put this because these are the big things. Stop making more like a doggy dog, you disposable type artist. Do you think that kind of formula would have worked for music?
I don't. It sounds like it would complicate things hella more than it already is.
Just to add to that, I mean, Kev, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of things that was done that way. You know what I'm saying? Just that production, that promotion, and putting certain things together. It did happen that way. Sometimes you would send those artists, you know, with those headliners just to get that branding. So I mean, it's like certain people like
Or
us.
even features. Yeah.
Yeah, you got that. Like, you go with your own T-shirts and your own because you got mothers and
That's
fathers that
interesting.
was managers. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
saying basically it already has happened. It's already been
It's
happening in that
happened.
way.
It's happened because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's another way for other people to actually get their name out of there, get they faces on T-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
To go to those venues, not to be in the headliner, probably even being the dude that's opening the show. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
it
getting
is
Yeah,
that
basically,
off
yeah.
the label.
but think what I'm saying. Like, think about an artist. Imagine if you went to a ball playing like, yo, you got to pay for your jersey, you got to pay for, you got to pay for the play for
Yes,
the arenas, you got to pay for the
yes.
ball, you got to pay the referees. You know what I'm saying? That's what they was doing to artists. It was like, bro, y'all getting everything off the top. Why are you trying to nickel and dime me for everything else? And that's why a lot of artists hated the deal. You know what I'm saying? You pay for the product already. So I mean, for artists, like, yo, you pay for the product already. So why you say, oh yeah, you got to pay for the CDs getting pressed, you got to pay for the limo, the gas in the limo, the studio time. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that to ball play. They don't say, oh, you got to pay for the practice, you got to pay for the facility, you got to pay for this. Like, give us our bread up front, and you guys take the L on the back end because y'all making more than enough to cover it.
See, but this is what I'm gonna add to you on this right there. When it comes to those ball teams, right? When it comes to those ball teams and those, they got managers, they got generals, they got CFOs. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole team over there that's gonna protect that one player of his value. You know what I mean? So they're gonna get those. Oh well, you sell this amount of records, or you hit this amount of home runs, you hit these amount of shots, you become an all-star, you get extra paid, right? But at those times, you're gonna be ripping those managers off if they're not getting residuals from that. And most of the time, those managers and those CEOs and the CFOs was the peoples of the label.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Most artists at that time just have regular management. That's why a lot of these people, these artists went into having
Hmm.
production teams, management going into it, getting those little deals off the side from writing and producing the music. That's why those production teams was getting those deals through those major labels because that's how the money went. But it also went to somebody who was going to actually support that artist. Most of the time, you run into somebody that fall in love with you, right? And now all y'all have, they fall in love with you as an artist, a person, y'all fire. I see your potential going here. Let me help you get there. And at the same time, always have their interests at heart for the most part. But sure to say, I love you. I'm gonna do this for you. You
Hmm.
nice, you good.
Hmm.
But sometimes those people could even get those residuals as well themselves. They couldn't even reach those stands. So how you gonna get me there? You can't even get there. You gonna let this dude just nickel and dime me off the side? Let's go do
Hmm.
this show. What we getting off this show? What's the label getting off the show?
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
add something real quick. Kev, you definitely spot on that it needed to change. It needs to change. There's too many artists that aren't eating based off of the talent that's being used. But I feel like it's kind of like morphed into that already. I feel like the way artists uh produce, write, engineer, like it's basically one-stop shopping in an artist all in one. We kind of like know how to do it all now. We no longer need the labels, and also kind of like even the platforms. Who's really selling albums? Like everything is streams,
Yep.
putting stuff out on YouTube, going viral. The machine has changed So with
Yeah,
that
now.
happening, with that happening comes the leverage. So now labels are actually coming to artists. Yo, you blew up. Here, sign this contract. Now the artist can be like, all right, well, let me have my lawyer look at it because I'm not giving you 360 nothing because you didn't help create me.
Right.
You came to me. So now I feel like it morphed into what it was supposed to, which is artists having most of the creative control and at least at minimum making half for their product. So I feel like over time
That's how El
it's
Mean
happened.
got discovered is being on social media and then the labels coming to him. So we're talking about what's pretty much has been evolving, but also pointing out that it's always been this way. The way you just broke it down, Dewan. Like what Kev is talking about has already been. This all this business aspect of things has always been. It's just shown differently, but there's so
It's
many
just
deeper
elevated,
deep
like he
layers.
said, like this
Yeah.
elevated. I agree with him. Like the jersey sales these kids are getting in college, leaving the NBA and going back to college just because they actually getting those jersey sales. They getting part of what was illegal to do. Now they brought to the forefront. They actually getting money for their brand and actually building themselves up. So yeah, I agree with Kev on
hmm
that, man. If it could be some kind of way where like, yeah, I'm in the league, I'm here, this is me. I'm about to go to the next level, but pay me before I get to that next level. Pay me my worth. Give me some of that stuff that you actually getting on the side. I'm cool with that.
Um. So we got another topic that came up online. We saw somebody comparing Clive Davis to the one and only Barry Gordy, and they were saying, who is the better artist finder, the one that had the most impact on the industry? Comparing those two, I would love to know your thoughts very quickly on this. Who do you think was the bigger A&R, the biggest like artist finder and signer between
Let
those
me
two?
let me just clarify one thing before we even get started. When you're a big name like Barry Gordy or Clive Davis, you don't have to do that much finding. People come to you. And maybe in the beginning it was like that, but I would say 25% of it was that, and the rest of the 75, like after you put out a Whitney Houston and you sell all these albums, artists are gonna flock to your label. And so I wouldn't say that they found artists. I would say that they probably believed and trusted and invested in an artist that they were gonna put out, but they were like a light at night that flies just came to. We all were going there. So let me just throw
Okay,
that out
okay.
there.
I like that
Yeah.
analogy. Yeah, because it is definitely right. Um, I'm curious, Kev. What do you think? Who was the bigger one? Who
I want to hear
found?
your Kev go and say because I'm gonna
Yeah,
go. I'm
yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
after
Like
Kev.
who had the bigger impact in artists? I would.
Personally, I don't think it's a comparison. It's Barry Gordy, hands down. Like,
y-
like,
y-
like culturally, Barry Gordy, like Motown had a sound. End of story. Clive Davis found artists. Barry Gordy created a whole genre of music, B, a sound. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, you say, oh, he got Whitney. He had Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, The
Hey, the
Temptation,
Jackson Five,
the Jackson Five, the Barge. Let's not about the
Smokey,
Barge.
Smokey.
Smokey. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on,
Like,
bro.
like,
there would
come
be no
on,
Smokey
bro.
without Barry Gordy.
Come on, bro.
Come
Michael
on.
Jackson alone in the conversation.
Temptation.
Michael and
Temptation
Stevie Wonder alone.
alone.
Michael Stevie, and Marvin Gaye alone crushes anything Clive can come with. And I'm putting Whitney
Diana
in that
too. I'm
conversation.
sorry, even though Diana was like, I don't know, bro. Listen, bro. I'm going with Kev on that one. I mean, I think when it says comparison, like he also had a whole team that could
Yeah.
have that song, music, everything together. Barry Gordy was that artist developer. You know what I'm saying? Developing that talent, getting people around it to make that talent that like to flourish. Because a lot of times you have raw talent and don't know how to transition it and put it in the right pocket. Bang. You got the Motown flavor, throw that shit right in the pocket. Boom. This is where we at. We got it. Clive. was more so, hey, you Whitney? Like you just said it earlier. You know what I mean? Let me show you what it looks like. Let me show you what it takes. Let's go watch her. That's what it is. It's not nothing I put on. It's what she came with, right?
Yeah, and she was influenced by
Yeah, by everybody else,
everybody that
by
came. Like,
Motown's, by the Barry Gordy. But the thing is
by
that
Motown.
Clive was able to put it, and I don't want to say as a cultural thing or as a race thing, but Clive was able to put it mainstream when it
hmm
came to those artists. Okay, but when it came to cultivating a culture and making a whole wave that
hmm
even crossed the barriers between white and black, Motown, Barry Gordy, you don't get no better than that.
None.
Yeah, it. When I saw that online, I felt the same exact way. Like Kev's reply just now. He took quiet for a second and said, "This is not even a conversation. Like, how you even? That's it." When I saw that online, I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, no, there is no comparison. Like like Barry Gordy created something out of nothing, and Clive Davis got good at identifying who has the ingredients that Barry Gordy created. If that makes sense? Like
I
Barry
would
Gordy was
even
able to.
add, I would even add that they were working out differently. Like the way they recorded music back then and the amount it takes and the amount of tools that they had, you know, at their whim, like it was raw. Like you really had to do stuff perfect for one take because there was no auto tuning or none of that stuff. Like uh, different era, different work ethic. I
I
think.
put it
Yeah,
like this. Put it like this. If Barry would have had a Clyde, right? Just think if he had a Clyde. Like I'm giving you this product, take that. I think Motown probably would have been even in the stratosphere even more.
You know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of Blockbuster and Netflix. Like you're saying, like one of them had the newer vision and the way to reach the masses and really blow it up. And the other
hmm
one was one of the biggest things to ever touch the world, but they didn't have the vision to grow beyond that.
I just think the difference is that yes, we can agree that Barry Gordy and Clive is not in the same
They're
realm
just
when we
different. Yeah.
talk about that, but
hmm
it's things that Clive did to elevate and go to the next level up here, right? You know what
hmm
I'm saying? But to say that he did what Barry did is an understatement. You know what I'm saying? He was able to take music, take that artist and go this way. Barry actually like cultivated a culture, gave
hmm
them a sound, gave them a feel, gave them a sense of like this is our lane. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Barry to me is different, bro.
Let me
They're
add
just.
to that the moment in time where Clive was blowing up, that was the inception of social media too. Like so there's that thing that helped, propel his success. Could you imagine if social media was available when Motown was out? Where it would be? What kind of like what would we have? So that
I
also
mean.
I think helped
hmm
Clive achieve the level of success he did. He was at the inception of it, like right when it was happening, blowing up, and like so he has a lot of success, I think, due to that.
And you gotta understand too, Clive was he was in those around those people. He learned from those people. You understand what I'm saying? So, and like once again, we talking about him learning around our culture or the culture that was going on at the time with Barry Gordy, Motown, Uptown Records, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And him elevating it and taking his smarts, his wits, and what he did to elevate that. But when it comes to music and this, it's just like comparing like Teddy's Reign to another producer, like just making a New Jack Swing's like song. Motown was just a vibe. This is what when you heard a sound, that's Motown. When you can't say that with Clive, you can't say
Yeah.
that.
hmm
I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like he tried to do that with Jay Records, but he didn't have enough. He didn't
But
have enough.
Jay Records was something that he had to create because the record
That's what I'm
label that
saying.
he
I feel
had
like he was trying to go for that,
was
but
you know what
when
I'm
you
saying?
just don't got enough, weapons in the belt, you just can't achieve it. Like no
Facts,
comparison, like you said. Yeah.
facts.
Motown got a museum, bro. A museum. Let that
Hey, hey,
sink in. A museum that people go to today. A museum. Clive ain't got no museum, bro.
Yeah,
That's how
it,
much of an impact
it's not even
again Harry
a
Gordy put on
comparison.
music.
It's not
It's
even a
not,
comparison.
bro. And if
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
and I think and sidebar, y'all all need to go to the museum, bro. You go to the museum, you go, yo, bro. My man was, he was
he lit.
different, bro. With $800, bro. With $800, he built Motown. $800, he built
Look,
Motown, bro.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, yo, Kev, left, flip, believe in me.
Mhm.
Let's go and do this right here. A lot of these things, and then, like this is what we addressed earlier. When it comes down to it, when you believe in somebody and you believe that they could take you there, that money don't matter.
Mhm.
I'm going to get you that. My man just said he just used $800 to get that up and running. You think he had that money to pay the artists? Do you think those artists didn't get on the road and go do shows and do certain venues with no money making that?
Yep.
They had to, because
Mhm.
it was a movement,
And they believed
and
in it. They all believed in the
and they
same movement
believed
and
in
the
it.
vision.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
good. Barry
Yeah.
Gordy.
Very
Say
good.
what?
100%.
Tip
100%.
my hat to Barry Gordy. Sorry, Clive. I love you in the whole
Fatality.
nine. Who you gonna be signed to? Who y'all want to ride up to and get that deal with? Who you going with? You going with Clive or you going with Barry?
Motown, man.
Now that's a different question. I'm sorry. They was dealing
That's
with
a
a lot of
No,
stuff back then.
same,
I ain't
same
going
time.
back to Motown.
Same time.
They're not gonna beat my ass at no show. I'm sorry.
My office hours are 9 to 5.
Gotta do
Still my single, still my style. Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
We are the vocal line. Hear me turn it up, can you hear the sound? We are the vocal line. Yeah, we do it for the love and we spread it around.